Anyone remember how to determine if something has a vertical asymptote? That's if the denominator is 0. But be careful. We want to cancel things out before potentially thinking that the denominator could be 0. So let's think. Which of the following has a vertical asymptote at -2? Circle all that apply. Let's go with one that you're like, right away, I feel good about it. G, I agree. This denominator is going to be -2, so I agree with G. J, you said, is tempting. But what happens with that x plus 2 and that x plus 2 in the top? Oh, snap. So there's actually a hole at -2 on that one because they both had that common factor. And then once you cross that out, I would just have x minus 3. What would that denominator be if it's just x minus 3? 1. Does that have a vertical asymptote then? It doesn't because 1 can never equal 0. So J is all good. What about H? These will cancel out. Where do I have a vertical asymptote then?
3.
Yeah. Vertical asymptote at x is 3, and it says, which of the following has a vertical asymptote at -2? So I'm not calling H either. What about F, Sadie?
It would be F because if you cancel out one of the 2's, then you have x plus 11 over x plus 2 squared.
Yeah, so I actually have x plus 11 over x plus 2 squared. So, yes. So then, when does this denominator equal 0? Yes, I can square root it. And then would I still get -2? Yes, good job, Sadie. So I'm saying F and G do work. Nice. Okay, it is known that as x approaches -6, my y's go to -infinity, which could be a likely table for G. Tables can be a little misleading because they don't give you a ton of info. It's just 6 different points. But let's look at just these x's. Are my x's approaching -6? Does it appear that they're all approaching -6? Yeah? Okay, so that's not helpful. Let's look at our y's. My y's have to be going to -infinity. Let's start with the bottom. What are these y's doing? 5, yeah, 5, they're huge. 5, okay, those are going huge. It looks like to positive infinity. Over here, positive infinity. Over here, negative infinity. Okay, and then I'll kind of leave these on there. Then we go to negative infinity and then a little positive. What are we looking with A? Are they both going down? Yeah. Then I think that these are hard. I think to me, this kind of asks 4 questions in one. It says the function m is continuous, so we never lift up our pen. We don't have any jump discontinuities, no vertical asymptotes, no nothing. If it is continuous, except when x is 9. My bad. If the limit as x approaches 9 is -infinity, which of the following statements must be true? Let's just start with this. What could that graph look like if I'm saying as x approaches 9, here's 9, that my limit has to be -infinity? What do we have going on at 9? We have a vertical asymptote. We have to be having a vertical asymptote at 9 if as I'm approaching 9, it's going to -infinity. Mario might draw this as his graph. Jack Clifford might draw this as his graph. It doesn't matter as long as you agree that they both have the same end behavior. They're all going down. You guys okay with that? Okay, which of the following must be true then? Is y equals 9 a horizontal asymptote? Yeah. We don't know anything about horizontal though, do we? Because this graph, like I was saying, is Jack's could have been up here, or Mario's could have been down here. We don't know anything about horizontal asymptotes. What about vertical asymptotes? We know we have one. At what function? X equals 9 or y equals 9? X, how I think of that, there's my VUX. X equals is always going to be a vertical line. Vertical lines are x equals. The values of a function can be made arbitrarily large. Arbitrarily large, you guys, just means that is going to infinity. Just means we're going to infinity. By taking x sufficiently close to 2, sufficiently close, we're approaching it. Which of the following statements must be true? So they want you to put these words into symbols. The values of f of x of a function can be made arbitrarily large by taking x Sufficiently close to 2, but not equaling 2. What do we, oh my gosh. Do you agree with Sadie? And you're like, Sadie, how'd you even get that?
Well, when it says that x is
Okay, we're going to, here we go. Look at these graphs. What was my point in this? Let's see. Look at the graphs and, oh, yeah. I said, look at those graphs. Yeah. Let's go ahead and say that we basically have this and we basically have this. And all I want you to know is this is going to dictate the shape. This dictates the shape. And my question is, what is the limit as x approaches positive or negative infinity? If x is going all the way to the right or all the way to the left, what is my y is going to? Yeah, they're both going to infinity, right? So you could say infinity or does not exist. I'm okay with either of them. But I'm just here to say, if you're like, dude, I don't have a graphing calculator for this, you can just look at that biggest exponent and that's going to dictate that n behavior show. You know something to an even power is going to look like this. What if it was negative 3x to the 4th? Whoosh, and therefore my limits would be as x goes to infinity and negative infinity, they would be negative infinity or does not exist. I feel like you're going to be a does not exister, and that's good. Keep it, okay? Use the equations above. What does this mean about the graphs? Oh, yeah. So you guys, if I put this guy over this guy, if I were to say, and look, I have them as f over g. If I were to say that, so we just had, let's write it out, 3x to the 4th minus 2x cubed plus 3x squared minus 5x plus 6. That's annoying. I wrote it annoying for a reason, though. And then we put over 3x to the 4th. What dictated those n behavior? This did and this did. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. What happens when I have 3x to the 4th over 3x to the 4th? They cancel out and we just got 1.
Stuff doesn't matter just because it doesn't matter.
Correct. It doesn't influence the end behavior, Thomas. It's going to influence what maybe the middle has like some waves in it, the bottom of that parabola.
That like dips under.
Exactly. Yeah. It changes a little bit in the middle. But what we're asking about here, this is saying, hey, as x goes to infinity, bless you, and negative infinity, we only care about all the end behaviors, Thomas, as infinities. I don't care what's going on in the middle. Sound good? So we're going to go ahead and say we have a horizontal asymptote. Are you guys good with for horizontal asymptote? Of y equals 1 because my exponents canceled out so nicely. How about number 1? Yeah. Question. Okay, over here. As x goes to infinity is what they're asking about. They're asking about here. They're not asking about in the middle of it. They're asking about the end behavior. As x goes to infinity, this is going to dictate my answer, and this is going to dictate my answer. Nothing else matters. What am I left with? 10x to the 3rd over 5x to the 3rd. Things are canceling. 10 over 5 is just 2. I would have a horizontal asymptote at 2. So they said find the limit as x approaches infinity. If I'm going to infinity on the x-axis, I'm going all the way horizontal, which would be a 2. Yeah. How about this guy? Do they cancel as well? Dang it. Do you agree the biggest exponent on the top and the bottom are still the ones that influence it, though? The biggest exponent. So we're left with 10x to the 5th over 5x squared. Does anything cancel? 10 over 5 is 2. So we got 2x to the 3rd, right? That cancels out to a 3rd, and that's gone. So the limit as x approaches infinity. If I put infinity in there, what happens when I cube infinity? Infinity times infinity times infinity. Would you still say infinity? Times 2? Is it still infinity? Yeah, look what our answer was. So you could say infinity, but Mr. Iono is going to say does not exist. Either one of those I'm good with. So here's the deal. Was it really convenient when those exponents matched? Real convenient because they canceled out perfectly. What happens when the exponents don't match and the bigger exponents on the top? We're always going to have a variable left on top, and they're always going to ask us as we're going to infinity. So if we're plugging infinity to something, it's going to be infinity. Okay? Prediction. What happens when the bigger exponent's on the bottom? Potentially. Okay. It's going to be 0. Let's go prove it. We're going to say, all right, the limit as x approaches infinity of 10x to the 5th over negative 5x to the 7th. What cancels out? You with me, Wilson? What cancels out? 10 over negative 5 is going to get me negative 2. Negative 2 over an x squared. Thanks, Danny. What happens if I square infinity down here? Infinity. What happens when I take negative $2 and I divide them infinitely many times? How much money are you getting? Bless you. Or how much money do you owe? 0. Take negative $2 and we divide it infinitely many times. This is going to get me 0. So, what is our little layman's terms? Let's think about these 3 options. What's going to happen when they ask as a limit as x approaches infinity? You're going to get 3 different options. If those exponents match, boom, boom. It's just divide those coefficients. 10 divided by 5 was 2 because those exponents canceled out because they matched. Anytime the denominator exponent is bigger, we'll always be left with a variable in the bottom and it'll always be 0. Anytime the exponent in the top is bigger, it will always be does not exist or infinite. Those are our 3 different scenarios. This is definitely my fave. AP asks this one. They also ask these other ones too, but this one's the easiest. Let's practice those 3 again. Imagine this, you guys. I'm going to give you 3 different scenarios. Check this out. Do you agree my exponents match? My exponent on the top is bigger. Ooh. Oh, it really threw us off on this other one. Hold up. Okay. Let's go start with the first one. As x approaches infinity, they're asking about a horizontal asymptote. Anyone have an idea? What's going to cancel? Yeah, my x squareds cancel, and I'm left with what? 1/2. Again, when those exponents match, ooh, that is our cup of tea. What Danny's saying over here, the exponents that match. Oh, I did this on purpose, actually. I tried to go bigger and then smaller here, but Danny was like, you were mischievous. This one's the one that I should look at, right? It doesn't always have to be in descending order. Good call. I did too at first. No, but you got the right answer. Yeah. But I read it wrong at first. So wait, what's the biggest one on the top? I shouldn't have even highlighted the 2. Shoot! What a goober. Those are what's dictating it. So we would have had 3x cubed over 2x to the 5th. What a goober. What's the only thing that cancels because those numbers aren't going to? It'd be 3 over, say that again, 2x squared. So do you agree I'd still have an infinity in the bottom? Anytime you're dividing something infinitely many times, it's going to be 0. Could you have, so Sadie, here's how much work you could have shown me on this problem. You could have shown me just this. Because as soon as you're like, okay, my bigger exponent, I got to look at everything though, because I didn't do that. The bigger exponent's on the bottom, the limit as x approaches infinity will always be 0. You can show me 0 work for that, if we can remember that skill.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Last one, what's my biggest exponent on top? 3x squared, thanks guys, 3x squared. What's my biggest exponent on the bottom? Okay, does anything cancel? And x does. So I'd be left with the limit as x approaches infinity of 3x. When I plug a 3 times infinity, I'd get infinity. Mr. Iono is going to say does not exist. B it is. Here we go. This one, as x approaches infinity, they're looking for a horizontal asymptote. What do we care about on the top? What's the only thing that influences it? 9x to the 6th, but it's square rooted. Well, it was square rooted. What's the square root of 9? 3, and then I think you're saying that with the exponent, it gets divided by 2, so it would be a 3, right? So you can actually apply that square root to it. square root of 9, square root of 6. Square root of x to the 6th. What about on the bottom? Yeah, hey, do we like these ones? Jack Clifford, what's my horizontal asymptote? Yes, sir. So don't let those square roots scare us. We're just looking at the biggest term and we can apply that square root. Last one. Let f be this function. What are the horizontal asymptotes of it? What are the horizontal asymptotes? Biggest exponent on the top. Nice. 2x squared over 7x squared, horizontal asymptote. Boom.